In this video, 100 Geometry Dash players try to hide as well as they possibly can in this enormous custom-made map, with the winner getting $100. They could hide behind this giant Cuphead monster, these epic water slides, or even this icon store, with one specific object assigned to their name. The final 10 people eventually battled it out in the final map, which is even more insane, and trust me, some hiding spots were so good and smart they took days to find. Okay, let's start from scratch. In order for 100 people to hide in an editor, a huge map needed to be made. So I called some talented creators, with one of them being nominated as the best art creator in the game. And they started building based on all of the ideas I made. After 3 months, the map was finally finished and everyone slowly added their objects one by one, until there were 100 people hidden inside the map. The rules were pretty simple. Your goal is to blend in one of these objects as well as possible with the background, and it needs to be fully visible at all costs. Knowing these rules, let's get right into the biggest event this game has ever seen. Hide and seek with 100 players in Geometry Dash. So I started off searching in this medieval area with a lot of trees, since it was at the start of the map and I needed to start somewhere. After 10 minutes however, I already found the first object, and I thought this was gonna be a piece of cake. 1 down, 99 to go. Soon after I found the first one, the second one followed, and the first 10 were really easy to find, since I found them in just 30 minutes. It got a little harder after finding 10 of them, but after passing a lot of objects, someone got incredibly lucky. For if you didn't see it, when selecting this beach ball, I accidentally selected a hidden object but didn't notice. This is just the tip of the iceberg though, since a little later I finally found the object in the air balloon and accidentally found another invisible one that got disqualified. After that happened, I found a couple more, but after finding 32 objects in a little over 2 hours, fatigue already kicked in and day 1 was over. Alright, I woke up and immediately went back to seeking, but for if you didn't notice yet, if you look at the desert right here, you can see more than 1,000 sand particles, and I was stupid enough to put these objects available for people to hide with, but more of that later. I found this object right here, which meant more than 1/3 of all the objects had been found, but trouble was going to strike very soon. I searched for 20 more minutes, but just couldn't find anything, and everywhere I went, I passed objects hidden in plain sight. But when I went to the sewers under the city, I luckily got some great RNG. I was selecting some random things, and suddenly I found what I was looking for. Wait, what? 30 more people were found, which I noted on a paper, some of which were very original. But after finding 15 of them on day 2, I called it quits and logged off. Okay, so if you look at these clouds in the editor, at first sight nothing seems off. But when checking them all out, you can see that there's a glow layer added to them to make them look more plain. Since people were able to hide clouds, I was checking all of them out since there might be one with a little more gradient. And this was the right choice, except for the fact that there was another one right next to it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I then started grinding again since there still were 41 objects left, and it was tough. It took 1.5 hours to find these 10 objects, so I knew something needed to change. And after 6 hours of seeking, I finally went to my biggest fear, the desert, and started clicking on every single particle in there. And after 20 minutes, this happened. Oh, no way! Let's freaking go! It took 30 minutes to select every single particle in the desert, but it was worth it. I did the same with the snow area and somehow found this extremely well hidden object, which you almost can't see with the naked eye. And after grinding for more than 3 hours, I just needed to find 8 more objects. This day by far was the hardest and most painful thing I had ever experienced. I started off searching for one of the 8 hiders, and it took me 30 minutes to find the first one, who was hidden inside the border of the icon store. 10 minutes later I found this teeny tiny cube on the ground, which was really noticeable, so I probably am just blind. Half an hour later I found an object on accident in some sort of light bulb from the water park, and eventually only 12 objects were left, 2 of which needed to be found. Everyone was screaming at me and it was pretty tense. The second one was found somewhere in the cloud at the end of the map, and then there was only one more person left, who couldn't make it into the final battle. The lost object was barely visible in this truck on the road and was the last one to be found. However, since 5 objects out of the 10 were disqualified, the final 5 people I found could join the finals. These are the spots of the final contestants. The final 10 contestants had to hide inside this crazy map right here, with fireworks, bats and the coolest interior design I have ever seen. Here's the list of the contestants. After everyone had finally hidden their object, it was time to release the seeker. It started off relatively well. I checked out all these spots in the castle from top to bottom and the first person I found was Ender. The second object also was pretty easy to find, because of the color just being a teeny tiny bit off from the rest of these balls. And I found another one a bit of time later, but this is where things took a turn. I wasn't able to find an object for more than 30 minutes, and I thought by myself, did I do something wrong? But luckily, after 40 minutes I found this weird pillar and I knew something was off about it. It was Dennis, one of the map its creators. However, since it was getting harder and harder, I asked my chat if they could see something, and then some random genius said this. Check the glow part of the bleach sign, someone might have hidden a white object there. That could be the case actually. It looks like a good hiding spot, yeah. Only 5 people were left and there was only a spot for 1 winner. I found both these objects at around the same time, but there was a problem. The final 3 were extremely hard to find. By checking out every corner of the map, I eventually found the 3rd object, and there were just 2 out of all the 100 people still in the game. And after 595 hours spent in the map, it finally happened. There's nothing here. Here it is. Oh boy. We might have a winner, guys. We might have a winner. 53. The second to last person was found, which meant there was a winner. But where was this final object hidden? Well, it was hidden on one of the smartest spots I had ever seen. Alright, Numptaloid, I have something to tell you. You just won $100. How does that make you feel?
You should be very glad that it was $100, because that $100 is the final piece of revenue I need to blow up Malaysia.